somebody's got to stop somebody, right? Right? Two of the worst defenses in the Big Ten go at it. Let's preview Indiana and Nebraska. You know, you got two of the worst defenses in the Big Ten, and you got two offenses that can move the football. Let's start first with Nebraska. I want to see Nebraska try to run the football off tackle, get to the outside, get to the edge with Anthony Grant. I want to see that, and I want to see them short passes. What do those two things do? They disguise your biggest weakness on offense, and that's your offensive line. This Nebraska offensive line has given up the most sacks so far this season. On the defensive side of the ball, Nebraska has the least amount of sacks so far. So sacks, not a good category on offense or defense for the Nebraska Cornhuskers this season. I want to disguise my issues. If Casey Thompson gets a snap, he sits back there and throws. You get guys like Cam Jones, who leads the Big Ten in total tackles, and other guys on the front that are going to get after the quarterback. Aaron Casey is a guy for Indiana right now that's top 3 in the Big Ten in tackles for loss. So there's guys on this Indiana front that can get after it. And knowing that for Nebraska, I want to try to disguise that. Get rid of the football quickly. You got playmakers, Alante Brown, Marcus Washington, Trey Palmer. Geez, get Ramir Johnson on the field. I don't care how you do it, just get him on the field. And of course, Anthony Grant. Nebraska, come out and run the football. Make Indiana stop you in the running game. I know that's not what Mark Whipple wants to do. He wants to whip it around. Bet you heard that one before. Take it home to your friends. But this is a Nebraska offense where I want to see them get back to running the ball. Pass protection has been a weakness for the Huskers this season. Quick passes, running game, that's what we want to see for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Let's talk about Indiana offensively, because remember I said this Nebraska defensive line, this Nebraska defensive front, least amount of sacks in the Big Ten so far this season. And Indiana likes to throw the football around. Connor Bazelak, 4th in the Big Ten in passing yards right now. Their top receiver, Cam Camper, 3rd in the Big Ten in receiving yards. That's the connection. Another good wide receiver is DJ Matthews. TBD on his injury status. Tom Allen says it's not a long-term injury. We'll see if he plays. If Nebraska has to defend both Cam Camper and DJ Matthews and they can't get pressure on the quarterback, they could be in for a long day. You know, I look at this matchup and I've seen Indiana play and I've seen Indiana move the football down the field. And if I'm a Nebraska fan right now, I'm a little concerned because if I can't get pressure, if things, maybe Bill Busch being installed as defensive coordinator, having the extra week, 2 weeks to prepare for this Indiana game, maybe he's sparked something, but all of a sudden, I don't think all of a sudden that this Nebraska defense all of a sudden learned or relearned, or however you want to put it, the fundamentals of football. Missed tackles, one-on-one coverage, things like that. We'll see, maybe it happened, maybe he's done some things this week to mix it up, but I just don't see it happening. I think Indiana could have a pretty good day against this Nebraska defensive front right now. Now, Indiana threw the ball 66 times against Cincinnati in their last game last Saturday. You might think, well, you know, run the ball, whatever. But their top running back, Sean Shivers, has more rushing yards than Ohio State's top running back, Travion Henderson. So this is a running game that, although not featured, we know the passing game is going to be what gets Indiana victories and what possibly gets them to bowl eligibility. Their running game is not awful, but it's not great as well. Can Indiana run the ball against this Nebraska front? Of course, you want to be balanced. Of course, you don't want to be one-dimensional in this game. If Indiana throws the ball 66 times, I'm not sure if they're getting out with a victory. But if I'm Indiana, I want to focus a little bit on running the ball, because there have been teams like Georgia Southern who's throwing it all over the place, and they're not known for the running game, yet they still ran the football particularly well against the Nebraska defense. I think Indiana can move the ball against this Husker defense. I really believe that. I also think the Nebraska offense can move the ball against the Indiana defense. I don't think there's going to be a lot of defense in this game. Defense is going to be continuously trying to adjust to try to make stops against the good personnel on the other side of the ball on both offenses. I think we could see a shootout in this game. It really goes back and forth. I don't know who wins. You tell me who wins in the comments below. So make sure you tell me who wins, what the score, all that stuff is. Let me know your thoughts on this game in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe to Big Ten Ted. I'm Big Ten Ted, and we will see you in the next one.